Your recess time. You keep your mask on, okay? Okay, now time to go back inside. Going back inside. So the next point question has to do with transitioning. Transitioning, we all know, is moving from one place to another or moving from one activity to another. So transitioning from one activity to another for some kids could be very challenging. If they like something, they like, say, reading, they want to stick to reading. And if it's time for math or science or something else, no, they don't want to do that because they love just reading. So the question is, what are some of the strategies you have applied in your classroom in the past that worked really well for you to transition the child from one activity to another?
You have to be positive. Forget about the negativity side. And then on the positive side, you say, oh, yesterday we couldn't finish this. But don't worry about that because you did most of the work. Today, I'm going to challenge you. If you're able to finish this and finish what you left off yesterday, I'm going to double your reward, something positive, so that you'll be able to do it. And then before I mentioned something about distraction, some kids, they don't like to read. Instead of reading, period, they want to do math. But to get him off math, to be able to do reading, you need to be able to have some distractable stuff. You say, oh, this is a kid who loves math. Then you said, man, yesterday I was surprised that you were able to do that division. That was tough, even for me. I couldn't even get it, but you got it right there like that. See, you're telling him something which is very positive, and that will ginger him to go do something that he didn't want to do initially. And then when he said that, say, before you were complaining about math, but now you see, you put your mind to it, you're getting it on the spot, and all your teachers are happy with that. And so let's do the same thing with the reading, because if you take your time now, say for instance, I'll be your student and you are my teacher. So let me read a little part for you, and then you continue as a teacher. Teach me how to read, something like that. Get his interest into whatever activity you want him to do.
The positivity is really important. It's like for special need kids, the love, all they need is the love, love and
That's right. Because they want attention. They want to do some little thing to get their attention. So
yeah.
you bring some scenarios, say, look, two people, somebody can play basketball, make millions, and give to some poor guy, and then he'll be popular. And somebody will go to steal somebody's radio in the car, and then they put him in jail. But he'll also be popular in that sense. Which one do you want? Put some scenarios before him and let him select the right one. And in that way, you'll get something done out of him.
Yeah. Well, I really like that. And again, talking about love and care, Melania's point again also point to that same direction, saying that give a constant break. Some of these kids cannot focus on one activity for too long. So give them constant breaks in between. She teaches the lower grades. And so I can understand where she's coming from. That after 10 minutes of reading for a kindergarten or grade 1 child, give them a break and then let them come back to it later on. So that constant break and also allowing the child to choose in between the activity. So moving them from one activity to another, you can help them choose, or they can decide what they want to do in the meantime as they transition from one subject to the next. Allowing that flexibility for them to choose. It's not like a race where they have to just do as you say. No, when you need to move them from math to science, give them a little break. Oh, take a washroom break, come back. So by the time they come, oh, let's tidy up. So we have the next subject is science. So you transition them slowly and wean them slowly into the next activity. And also she mentioned allow students to follow a visual schedule when transitioning from one task to another. So if there's something that is visualized, you can put it on a small board. The house is not a classroom, but we can buy small boards or notes and post around the house. So the child can see it visually that, oh, from after math, oh, we have science. So let them see it in the morning, that there's a visual cue. And they will even tell you that, oh, we have finished math, the next subject is this, or make it open so they can control their own schedule as well. We will move on to another question.
Yes.
And
Mr. Houghton.
Mr. Houghton has the next question.
Okay. Okay, the next question will be, as a special ed teacher, what do you have for parents to keep their children engaged, like focus on the tasks at home as in school?
That we should be able to be positive in our dealings with them, give them some rewards, positive rewards, and positive reinforcement. The letter that I will add to that is the parents should know the interests of their kids, where their interest lies. And therefore, my only advice is not to overdo any of them. This is what I'm saying. You strictly adhere to one thing at a time. And say, for instance, if you say no, never back down on it easily. Before you say no to a kid, please think about that, because there's going to be a time that you think, oh, this is too harsh. I have to loosen up for him. And then he's going to capitalize on that. And then the next time he wants something like that, you go back to the same principle and try to use it against you. And therefore, if you say no to certain things, don't back down easily. Like I mentioned before, say, for instance, this time, you know his favorite snack is this. And then you say, well, today, you know, I brought your favorite snack. Then you show it to him. But since you didn't want to do your work, I'm a good person. I'm a good teacher. I'm not going to say I'm going to deny you of your snack. But what I'm going to do is I will have you take half of the snack, and then I'll keep the other half back with me in my possession, so that after you do this, I can give it to you. Or even if you don't finish now, you can even come back to do it anytime, and I'll give it to you. Instead of say, okay, because you didn't do this, I'm not going to give you your snack today. No, most of the time, it doesn't work good for students like that. Always let your reinforcement be always positive and loosen up a little bit, but always stand with whatever you say. If you say, when you do this, I'll give you that, make sure that you have it to give it to him.
Wow. I think that applies to every child, really. For every child, when you say yes, let your yes be your yes and your no. And so there's a structure in the house, not just for special need kids, but this goes to every child, I think. We are progressing really well. I have one last question for you.
So great.
Everything.
Last question. Thank you, Jesus.
I know some teacher friends will be watching this. Some of them are new to the field of special education. Even parents now are now new to special education, especially if they have to teach their kids at home. Everything you've said is for parents. Now, what do you have for teachers, especially those who are new to this field of special education?
Wow. Hey, to all the teachers, I salute you. I mean, you're doing your God's calling, because you know teaching is also in the Bible.
Wow.
When we talk about teaching in the Bible, we think it refers to Sunday school teachers. No. It's teaching, because teachers have more time with these kids. When they grow up, everybody has a story to tell. Oh, my second grade teacher, I mean, she did this, she did that, and I learned this from it. But when they get up there to make the rules, they forget about teachers' pay. That is so. Teachers, I respect you all and keep on doing the good job that you're doing. First of all, do you want me to quote you what is in the Bible?
Yes, go ahead.
This is not the Bible. I'm not preaching, but some people are going to say, oh, where is that at? If you go to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11, is there. And the Bible says, and he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors, then the fifth one, and some teachers.
Mm.
Our name is there too. So yourself a pat on the back. So it's a calling. You know everything about teaching, but you don't know it all when it comes to special education. So first, I will advise you to learn your IEP first, how to apply the IEP in your classroom. And whilst doing that, because sometimes the IEP that they left with you is for somebody who was on reading level 2, like second grade level, whilst that person is in 5th grade. In your own sense, go take 3rd grade and try her on the 3rd grade level. If he or she passes that, then you can even move on to 4th grade. Because something like reading, if somebody is in 5th grade and he's reading at 7th grade level, that's not a sin, that's not a crime. Nobody is going to force you for that. But when somebody is in 7th grade and still reading at 2nd grade level, and the IEP that you inherited was 2nd grade level, and before the kid leaves your hands, she's still reading on 2nd grade level, then there should be something wrong with you, the teacher.
Whoa.
Push the kids, because some of them, they are just totally lazy. They're not just lazy. So if you push them a little, they will be able to push themselves up.
Wow.
As you study somebody's IEP and get to know how to use it, then you can develop your own IEP so that when you go to the next meeting, you can write the current progress of that kid's performance in your class. I tried that one time, and the kid came over there and there were some books in the principal's office. He said, yeah, I can read it. Then they gave him the book and he read it. And then one of the teachers asked him questions, and he was able to answer at least 3 questions out of the 4 questions. And then they said, oh, wow, that is a great improvement. And that is, when that's happening, then you, the teacher, you get some small pad on your back, and the kids get all the pad on her back or his back. So it's always good to challenge the kids to do one level beyond what they are now.
Wow. I like the challenging the child, because
That's why we have to.
Yeah, a lot of the kids on special needs, not just them, but every child really like the structure, like the challenge. They are ready to learn. But if the
They need
environment,
a little push.
yeah,
That's all.
yeah,
And like we were saying before, you get your refrigerator, they got anything on that, so you can put your schedule on it. So
schedule
you
on it.
speed. Ask him, oh, what time is it? 12:30. What subject next? Oh, from here you go to reading. Oh yeah, go take a reading book. Something like that. And plus, don't forget to give them intermittent breaks, because you know your kid, how long his attention span is. Some of them can sit for 30 minutes without moving. Some of them cannot sit for even 20 minutes. You need to know your kid's attention span so that you can work with him or her, and he will work for you.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's not a race.
That's right.
It's not a race. Well, thank you so much. I've learned a lot. Thank you so much. If they have questions, they can always put it on the comment side. And if I cannot answer, I guess I know where to find you. I'll contact you. And,
Yeah.
I'll have you to give them the answer or provide the answers for them.